Are you considering a move to Dallas, Texas, but you're still on the fence because you've heard some mixed reviews and you're not so sure if it's the place for you? Well, you are in the right place because we are going to discuss that today in this video. I'm going to tell you all the reasons why people are moving out of Dallas. So let's talk about it right now. Be sure to watch until the end because you're going to want to hear all the things that people are complaining about. If this is your first time to the channel and you're excited to learn everything there is to know about the Dallas-Fort Worth area, be sure to subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you're always up to date on the latest market insights. My name's Tara McGraw. I'm a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I help people like you every single day. So whether you're looking to make a move in a week or a year, across country, or all the way across the globe, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description below. My team and I would love to help you make a smooth transition to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So what's going on in Dallas? Well, I'm here to tell you, it may not be the place for you. There are a lot of reasons why people are complaining about Dallas and why they're actually leaving. So let me just start with, it's expensive, okay? It's very expensive to live there. Now I have some notes here that I pulled off of the internet machine, and they are saying that it's a little bit more affordable than it actually is, okay? So bestplaces.com, they're saying that the median sales price in Dallas for a home is $339,000. Okay, I don't know where this house is or what neighborhood it's in. I mean, I can imagine what neighborhood it's in, and it's not a very good one. For $339,000, you're not getting a very nice house for that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be ugly. I mean, you could get like a condo or something. I mean, maybe you could get a nice house in a not so good area, but for $339,000, I realize that Dallas is a big place. Okay, it's a big place, so they're factoring in all of the areas and they're coming to this median sales price, $339,000. Show me. Okay, show me that house and show me that house where it's safe, okay, because I'm not buying it, okay? So they're saying that the median household income is $64,000, but the average cost of living is $91,000. So I'm trying to figure out how that adds up, and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing that you're gonna live there and you're gonna make $64,000 and then you're going to spend $91,000. None of that makes sense. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. From experience, from living here, from living in several parts of Dallas, from living in the burbs, and just living here and selling houses here and helping buyers and just being here, I'm gonna tell you that yes, the cost of living probably is $91,000. It's actually probably higher than that. And you're not gonna probably want that house. You're gonna be spending a lot more to live in the nicer areas because we have some crime in the, the dicey areas. We're gonna have some crime. And that's probably not where you're gonna wanna live. So I don't know about all that, okay? I would say to live comfortably in Dallas, first of all, a house, you're probably gonna get, I guess you could probably get one for like $550 or one that's not updated for like $500, okay? But that's like even borderline dicey. I don't know, it just depends on what you're used to. Okay, I think you're gonna be spending more like closer to $1 million for something that you're gonna actually like fall in love with and that's in a good area. So I'm thinking you're gonna need about $1 million for that. You're probably gonna need to make more like $200,000 to live there and be comfortable and get to go do stuff. The property taxes are high there. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. That's not a fun thing in Dallas. They're like 2.5% in some areas. So it's expensive, okay? Okay, the schools in Dallas, let's just talk about that. The schools are terrible. The public schools, nope, that's a no-go right there. That is a no-go on DISD. I'm not saying public school in general is a bad thing, but you can get better schools up in the suburbs, okay? There's a lot going on up there. You can live cheaper, I'm gonna tell you about that, and you can get the good schools up there. In Dallas, you are looking at private school. Unless you just, wanna throw your kids to the wolves, then private school, that's the way it's gonna go. Do not even get me started on the traffic. The traffic in Dallas is horrific. It is the worst at any time of day. It's just how it is. We had a population surge in 2021. And while I love everybody moving here and we love you guys and we welcome you with open arms and we are so excited about it, our infrastructure is just not there in Dallas. It's not gonna be there for a while. It's pretty bad. It's gonna take you a long time to get anywhere. Just plan extra. It's just rough. It is what it is. Now let's talk about up in the burbs, up north of Dallas. The traffic is not so bad. Now it is bad if you are commuting downtown. If you're going downtown to work, that's gonna be hard because you're driving at rush hour. Okay, but the rest of the time, the traffic's fine. The traffic's fine. And there's also back roads. So let's say there's an accident on the tollway or 635 or 121, which, I mean, the tollway gets backed up a little bit because of the commuters, but I rarely ever see any traffic on 121 or on the George Bush Turnpike. Now those are toll roads, but I mean, hey, I'll pay to not have to be sitting in traffic. I really don't think that I can say this nicely, so I'm just gonna say it. Dallas, you're slacking, okay? You're getting dirty and you're slacking in some of the areas. Now, if you live in Highland Park and you can go over there and you can buy a house for a couple of $1 million, hey, you're sitting pretty. Your kids are going to the public school and you're not having homeless people and, trash, and it's not getting dirty in there, okay? They're keeping Highland Park up because that's its own little town that was not annexed into Dallas. But the rest of Dallas, you're slacking, okay? We're seeing lots of homeless people around. They have little encampments around. They're putting big rocks underneath the bridges and putting fences around it because they don't want people panhandling. I mean, I gotta hand it to you, you're trying, but that is not very attractive looking, okay? When you drive past those rocks and all of that, I mean, it looks kind of third world over there. So there's certain areas where you drive under that overpass and you're like, where am I? So Dallas, pull it together. You gotta do something. You gotta do something about the homeless population. You need to help those people. You need to get them, whatever it is, the mental health, whatever, okay? Get them off drugs. I don't know what it is. I don't wanna say why someone is homeless because, hey, maybe they have a health problem and, whatever, okay? But we can't just have everybody on the streets and we can't be letting it get dirty and trashed up. It looks terrible. Now you go up to the burbs, different story. You cross over 635 and now you're in the burbs. Okay, you're not seeing the panhandling. You're not seeing the homeless around. We have a good police department up here. They're handling all of that, okay? You are not seeing trash around, like they're cleaning it up. Now, a big difference is gonna be Collin County versus Dallas County. And we do have suburbs in Dallas County. Richardson is Dallas County, but Richardson itself takes care of it. The city of Richardson takes care of it. But Collin County, that's gonna be Plano, that's gonna be your Frisco, half of Frisco anyway. And Collin County's nice, they're taking care of it. Now far north Dallas, that's kind of like a suburb of Dallas because Dallas is funny. People don't wanna go north of 635. North of 635 is pretty much considered the suburbs, and that's, there's a large portion of Dallas that is north of 635, but North Dallas is not so bad. And I think it's really got to do with, it's not that the city is taking such good care of it, it's that they have some really nice neighborhoods in far north Dallas. And I think the neighborhoods themselves take care of it. But I mean, there are some areas in far north Dallas that are even a little bit questionable, but they are developing those areas, they're redeveloping them. So far north Dallas, it's not quite the same as regular Dallas. And like I said, there are nice areas of Dallas. Like North Dallas is nice and Park Cities is nice. I mean, there's areas that are nice, but you're just not gonna be getting in there for the prices that they're saying people can afford. Now, I could see it for young people. I could see living in Dallas for young people because let's face it, when you're young, you're broke and you don't care. You're willing to go live in a hovel and you don't make that much money, you just want to go out with your friends and all of that. So you could go get a pretty cheap place. You could have roommates and, get a decent enough place. But, as adults, who's doing that? I'm not living with a roommate. My roommate is my kid. That's enough roommate for me. Now I will hand it to Dallas. Dallas does have some good shopping. They have the nicer high-end stores. They've got an Hermes, and you can go to Chanel and do all that in Highland Park Village. But here's the thing, there's a lot of great shopping up in Frisco. You can get everything you need in Frisco. You've got a Gucci, you've got a Louis Vuitton, there's a Tiffany, there's a Neiman's. I mean, what do you need? If you're shopping that high end on a regular basis that you need to live near the store, then we might need to talk. People say that the dining is better in Dallas. Now, Dallas is bigger, so yes, you are gonna have more restaurant options, and you are gonna have more, family-owned type restaurants. But here's the thing. You're gonna need a reservation anywhere you go in Dallas, and pretty much on any night of the week. And I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm gonna wanna be doing in a couple of days. Do I feel like going there? What if I don't feel like Italian that night? I don't know. It's difficult to decide ahead of time where you wanna go. Now, if you are having a get together and it's my birthday and let's all go out and have birthday dinner, that's one thing. But if you are just, it's like Wednesday night and I decided last minute that I don't want to cook, well, I don't want to have a reservation for that. That drives me crazy. Up in the burbs, though, you are looking good. Now, there are some restaurants where you would probably need a reservation, like some of the nicer places. But you can run on down to the Mango Thai and walk right in. It's fine. You can go to Goat and Vine. Probably don't need a reservation. Head on over to Sueño and get yourself a margarita. Now, Sueño does get busy, so you want to get there early, but you don't need a reservation. So the convenience factor is definitely there in the suburbs. As you might expect, the suburbs are a lot more family friendly. Now, I have friends with kids in Dallas. I lived in Dallas with a child, and it was fine, but you need to be in certain areas that are a little less urban, okay? Because if you are gonna have your child out riding their bike or, whatever, playing with their friends, you have to be careful because there's a lot of traffic in Dallas, and even in the neighborhoods, there's a lot of people on the streets, so you have to be careful. Now, up in the suburbs, you've got more master planned communities, they've got sidewalks, the kids are running amok and having a great time, and so it's a little more family friendly up there. Universal Studios is going in Frisco, and it's not a regular Universal Studios, it's one geared for like the younger kids. So if that doesn't tell you that it's a little more family friendly and geared towards the little ones, then I don't know what else does. The schools are fairly highly rated in pretty much all the suburbs. I don't know what they're doing in Carrollton, to be honest with you. I need to look into that a little bit. In fact, I think I'm gonna do a vlog on Carrollton. But I don't really know, but I will tell you, Frisco, McKinney, Plano, all the schools up there are gonna be A-rated, A+ rated in their Prosper. They're all gonna be good up there. So if you don't wanna do private school, then Dallas might not be the way to go for you. There are just a lot less people up in the suburbs. And I don't have anything against people. I love people, but I don't want them that close to me. So in Dallas, you're gonna be right up on each other. You're gonna have a smaller house and you're gonna have a tiny yard if you get a yard at all. And it's just like there's people everywhere. There's people on the streets, there's just people all around. And in the suburbs, you can like stretch out a little bit. You can breathe a little bit in the suburbs because you're not right up on each other. I don't wanna look out my window and see straight into another house. So when you're in the burbs, you get some trees and you get a little space between you and your neighbor. And I gotta say, I like the space. So let's go over some of the cost of living in the other suburbs around. So we already talked about Dallas. We know it's expensive to live there and that you need to make a lot more than they're saying online. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Okay, Richardson, that's just north of Dallas. They're saying, this is from bestplaces.com. They have some information they've gathered from the US Census Bureau. And they are saying that the average household income is about $96,000 a year. The median home sales price is about $450,000, and the cost of living is $79,000 for a family. Now, I question that. I question the cost of living. I do think it's a lot more affordable up there, but I think, maybe 100,000 would be a little better for a family. But it depends on where you want to live. It depends on how big your house is and what you're trying to do. But for a $450,000 house, if you have kids, I think you're looking at 100,000. Now, Plano income 108,000. Median home sales price 530, so a little bit higher. They're saying the cost of living is 94,000 for a family, and I'm gonna say 100,000. I think you're looking at 100. I think you could live in Plano or Richardson equally, to be honest with you, because you can get a decent house in Richardson for 450. You really can, and you can get a house for less than 530 in Plano. Frisco, we're talking average household income 146,000, and the home price $699. That's pretty high. That's pretty high. Frisco is expensive. It's getting really expensive up there. Now, they do have a lot of really nice neighborhoods, and it's newer construction generally up there in Frisco, but it's getting pricey. They're saying the cost of living is 125,000. I'm gonna say 150. I think you need 150, but I don't know. I don't know how you live. I like to go places. I like to do stuff. McKinney. Now, McKinney's a ways up there, but McKinney's really nice. I really like McKinney. The income up there is 113,000. The average home is 511,000. Okay, I believe that. And they're saying cost of living 96,000. Now, I heard on another site, I read that you could live on 70,000, but I'm thinking with a family, if we're talking families, then you're probably going to want to be up closer again to that $96,000, $100,000 mark. Now, Carrollton is a suburb just north of Dallas, just right north of Dallas, and the income there, average household income, 99,000, and the median home sales price, $385. I think you can get a house for that much in Carrollton because there are some older parts of Carrollton, but I'm thinking you're probably going to want to spend around that $450 mark. $450, that's going to get you something like a decent size, like a 3-bed, 2-bath, and updated, reasonably updated, probably like 1,800 square feet, something like that. Now, this is just off the top of my head, but I'd say you probably need $450, $500. Cost of living, they're saying $74,000. Now, if you had that little $385,000 house, maybe, but I'm sorry, I just think you need $100,000 at any of these places. That's just my opinion. Now, I mean, it all depends on how you live, but I'm just saying, if you like to go places and you like to do things, I think you need $100,000. I'm just being honest with you guys. Parks and recreation. Yes, there are parks in Dallas. There are parks. Here's the thing though, everybody goes to them. Everybody goes to them. There's not as many, and there's a lot more people in Dallas. So here we go with all the people. They're all at the park, and they don't have very big yards. So where do you think they're gonna go? Well, up in the suburbs, they've got all kinds of parks, tons of parks actually. Some of the subdivisions even have their own little park that's master planned into the community. Some of the communities even have community pools and playgrounds and all that. So you got a lot of that up north. You even have whole nature preserves that are several hundred acres. There are 2 in Plano, I believe, 1 in Frisco, and they're building another huge one that's like 1,100 acres or something. It's gonna be huge and really, really cool. So lots of those. You've got one up in McKinney. You can go to the outdoor things and do the hiking and the biking in the suburbs, but it is a little more difficult in Dallas. People want to live near the Katy Trail. The Katy Trail, oh, that's a big deal. You know how busy the Katy Trail gets on the weekend? You can't hardly ride your bike on it because there are so many people jogging and all of that it's like a traffic jam on the Katy Trail. No, thank you. I'll be in the wide open spaces in the suburbs. The suburbs have tons of festivals. Each suburb has its own thing. So you've got the Wildflower Festival that happens in Richardson. You've got the Plano Balloon Festival. Addison's got a festival every other weekend, it seems like. I mean, not really, but it seems like it because they have some really good ones in Addison Circle. They've got Taste of Addison, Oktoberfest, Kaboomtown. That's the big one. That's you want to go to Boomtown. That's the best fireworks show in the whole city, and everybody goes to it. So there's that. But here's the thing, is that Dallas has these things too, but I'm not going. Okay, I know that sounds terrible. It's General Pop, okay? It's Gen Pop. So if you don't want to be in Gen Pop, then you're going to want to go to the suburbs. The burbs are just generally cleaner and nicer. They're newer. That's the thing, okay? I like the historic areas of Dallas. I like a lot of areas of Dallas. Now, if I could go down there and buy a house for a couple of $1 million, I'm all over that. I would be down there. But that's not the way that I can live. So I'm up in the burbs and I'm loving it. I'm loving it for all the reasons. Like I said, Dallas is nice. I mean, there are some nice areas of Dallas, but you have to be in the nice areas. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't move to Dallas or consider moving to Dallas, but I'm just saying that the areas of Dallas that most people want to live in, because they're a little safer, a little nicer, a little cleaner, those are going to be very expensive areas. So if you are looking for something that is a little more affordable, then suburbs all the way. That's gonna be your ticket. You're gonna have an older home in Dallas, more than likely, unless it's a couple of $1 million, more than likely it's gonna be older. You can get new construction up north, you can get it in McKinney at a reasonable price. You can get a new house in McKinney, north of 380. Now it's not gonna be south of 380, but you can get one north of 380 for $500,000, $550,000, brand new, and a nice one. So it's just a little more affordable. Now, I'm not saying that Dallas is just awful or anything. I like Dallas. I work in Dallas. I sell a lot of houses in Dallas. There's nothing wrong with living in Dallas. I'm just looking at it from an affordability standpoint and from security standpoint. If you want to live in a more secure area, it's gonna be pretty high dollar. So lots of reasons why people are moving out of Dallas and why people are choosing not to move there in the first place. So hopefully you found this video helpful and useful, and you are one step closer to deciding whether or not Dallas, Texas, or one of the suburbs is right for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description below. If you're thinking about making a move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, give me a shout. I'd love to help you make a smooth transition to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.